Welcome back. Welcome back. I am Q Rowland, your business growth coach and your money mentor. So make sure you are subscribed to my channel and have those notifications turned on so you don't miss any updates. But today we're going to talk about the SBA EIDL and charge-offs and what does that look like for you. Stay tuned.
Make the money. Don't let it make you.
So I've met with a few clients who have said to me they got a charge-off showing in their SBA portal. They immediately panicked and wanted to know what should they do with that situation. So let's talk about it. So first of all, the SBA discharged or charged off $52 billion in September of 2023. So many of you may be showing charged off in your SBA portal for your particular loan. But what does that really mean? A charge off is basically when a company has decided to dismiss monies that are owed to them because they deem it as unrecoverable funds. Typically, this is done as a tax benefit to them because as long as you owe this debt and they could possibly receive payments, it is technically income for them. So they would rather get rid of it versus paying money on money they have not yet received. Now, this may be beneficial to them, but maybe not necessarily for you, and I'll explain to you why. An unrecoverable debt, which is also known as a charge-off, can be collected up to 7 years. I know you all have heard this thing that a debt is supposed to fall off your credit report in 7 years or something like that. Well, this is why, because with a charge-off, a company, even the SBA, can collect up to 7 years from the date that the loan was issued to you or the last date of payment. What does that look like? What that looks like is, first of all, you need to know your rights as a consumer. You need to know what your time bar statute of limitations are in your state. The reason I say this is because if you know your statute of limitations, then that means that past that date, no collection agency can ever try to collect from you after that date. The time barred period usually is 7 years. Sometimes it's 6 years, depending on your state. You can do a simple Google search and type in time barred, then your state, and it will immediately pop up what the statute of limitations are for a debt collector to try to collect the debt from you. So let me explain this to you just a little bit further. A time barred account means that they begin counting from the last date of payment. So what that means is, say for instance, your time barred period is 5 years. If you paid on January 1st, 2005, the last date of payment is that date. So that means that from 5 years from now, if they try to collect on you on January 2nd, 2010, they are past your statute of limitations if your statute of limitations is 5 years. Now, here's the caveat to that. If you make a payment at any point in time during that 5 years, your time barred or your statute of limitations starts all over again. I'm not encouraging you not to make a payment on bad debt. What I am saying is that you need to be very much aware of your statute of limitations so that will better enable you to know how to handle it going forward. So here's the thing. If your time barred time has passed and they try to collect from you, in some states this may be illegal, but in a lot of states it's not. So if you make a payment after the statute of limitations, it's totally on you for not adhering to your own statute of limitations. And guess what? Your time barred period starts all over again. So it's very important that you know when your time barred statute of limitations ends on any debt, not just the SBA EIDL, but on any debt, because the rules apply, period, in your state. When you understand what the time barred statute of limitations is, you can better handle your accounts. Now, if you see a charge off in your SBA portal, what does that mean? First of all, it means that they got rid of it. Second of all, if you haven't seen it yet appear in your credit report, there's really nothing for you to do. But if it is appearing on your credit report, which I haven't heard that just yet, and it may never happen because it's totally up to the SBA how they decide to deal with these accounts. But if it does, the way that you can get it removed are not that simple, but doable. So the first thing is you can ask them politely by writing a letter or giving them a call and saying, hey, can you please remove that charge off on my credit report? It's highly unlikely because you haven't paid them, but there's no harm in an ask. The second thing you can do is you can dispute the hell out of it. And I mean, it may take 4 or 5 time disputes, but at some point, typically, somebody drops the ball and it comes off of your credit report. And this does work. I hate to say it, but it does work. So if I were you and I was in this situation, I would dispute. And you can find these dispute letters, the Fair Credit Reporting letters, on my website at qrowland.com. They're a downloadable asset, so you can go in there, get those templates, plug in your information, and dispute any creditor, not just the SBA, but any creditor that has a bad debt on your credit report. These letters are proven to work, and I am here to tell you that I know they work for a fact because I have used them with many of my clients, including myself. So just knowing that these letters work is a great asset for you to go to the website and download them. Now, here's the other things that you need to know. As far as the SBA EIDL, as long as you owe this debt under your statute of limitations, they do have the right to still collect from you. They also have the right to sell the debt. They also have a right to refer to the IRS Treasury. So far, they have said they are not doing this, but that does not mean that will always be the case. So understanding your own consumer rights to your credit report is going to be the best protection you can have in this case. Now, these rules definitely apply to folks under 200K, the ones who were not personal guarantees. If you were a personal guarantee, if you did not pay, I know a lot of you are now seeing these accounts show up on your personal credit report. If you were the personal guarantee, then your options are very, very different, but one option is always the same. You can still dispute these debts that are appearing on your credit. Whether you're a personal guarantee or not does not take away your right to dispute debts on your credit. When you dispute, you have to demand verification of these accounts. And in most cases, they just aren't going to do it. They have way too many customers to look through all their files to find your account to say, hey, you signed here, because they have to show you this in writing that you signed this contract. So just keeping that in mind, I will always dispute. So that is how you deal with the charge-offs. Like I said, don't panic, don't fret. Just make sure you keep up with your statute of limitations in your independent state. Remember, it's simple Google searches, your state and time bar, those words, it should come right up for you to tell you what your statute of limitations are in your state. But the answer is not to panic. If it is showing on your portal, there's not much to do. I do want to give you one other thing. If you pay a charge off that's showing on your credit, you are not improving the rating of your credit, because now all it's going to show is a paid charge off. It is not going to do you any justice because the damage has already been done. The only way I would ever suggest paying a charged off account on your credit report is if they negotiate that they are willing to remove that charge off from your credit report, because otherwise you're just going to have to pay a charge off. And again, it does not improve your credit rating. Some people just want to rush and pay it, but what is the benefit to paying it if it's already doing damage to your credit? There isn't any, unless there's something you can gain, like a removal from your credit report. So that is the one thing I would try to personally negotiate. Make sure you get it in writing. Make sure you keep good documentation of who you spoke to, what time, what day, all that good stuff, so that you have documentation that this was agreed upon. Hell, even record the conversation. Just make sure you keep good records. Make sure you stay on top of what's happening with your loan. If the loan is ever referred out, make sure you understand you made no agreements with any collection agencies outside of the SBA. A lot of people don't realize this. Once you sign a contract with the SBA, you did not sign a contract with anyone else. So no, you don't technically owe anyone else. You only owe the SBA. So I will always go back to the SBA if you decide to pay. Get what you actually owe, because a lot of times these companies will try to throw on illegal fees, so forth and so on, that you don't even owe. And if you don't know what you owe, they can do anything to you, but you do not owe them. And you have a right to dispute them if they're on your credit report and saying, I did not sign any agreements with this company. And because under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, they must show verification that you did, which we know that they can't, they have to remove it. So just knowing your rights about your credit is going to save you even with the SBA EIDL. So that is my tips, and I hope this video helped you. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and check out my website, qrowland.com. And don't forget, it's only like a day or two left in the month, and my March Madness special is almost over. It is a discounted 3 sessions. The Credit on Demand Masterclass plus some digital downloads for your credit are all enclosed in a tight, nice little, neat little package for you at a very, very reasonable price. You can find that at my website as well, qrowland.com. And like I say, always go make the money, but don't let the money make you. I'll see you soon.